Welcome to NTD Newsroom. I'm Don Ma. The famous 4th of July parade takes place on Constitution Avenue in Washington, D.C. We have a team on the ground to give us a view. President Trump kicks off a year-long celebration of America's 250th birthday in Iowa. Trump's plans over the next year, plus possible immigration changes coming for farm workers. We speak to a Navy veteran about what Independence Day means to him and why he chose to serve his country. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calls President Trump the most economically sophisticated president perhaps in history. His comments on replacing the Fed chair. Russia launches a major drone attack at Ukraine's capital city. This comes just one day after a phone call between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin fell short of bringing Europe closer to peace. Festivities are lighting up all over California. In the Bay Area, thousands lined the streets for the Rose, White, and Blue Parade. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today and wishing everyone a happy 4th of July. The nation's capital today filled with Americans from around the country. July 4th festivities kicked off this afternoon with a massive parade down Constitution Avenue. NTD's Melina Weiskup brings us a look.
We're here right beside Constitution Avenue, where this parade has just kicked off. There are a whole lot of bands, a whole lot of energy, and of course, a lot of red, white, and blue. I've talked to a couple of family members who have gathered from around the nation, Steph, to enjoy this parade today. Here with me, we have Kara and Graham from Iowa. They traveled all the way here just to watch this parade. How are you guys feeling today?
This is amazing just to be a part of this history and to see it all live in person.
Yeah, definitely. And Kara was telling me that yesterday they were actually at the Capitol building when they passed the big, beautiful bill. How was that feeling, Graham, to be a part of history in that moment?
Really good.
Yeah, really good. Kara says it's so important to make her son and daughter to be aware of the history in this nation and just to be able to witness these great events. What is the energy you're feeling here? Why is it important for you to celebrate this day and come all the way from Iowa to do so?
Absolutely. Just lots of energy here. Just lots of, so many people have come so far just to see this, and we should be proud to be here. And, it's the birthday of America, so for sure.
Definitely. Thank you guys for joining us today. You guys have a good 4th.
Yeah,
Now, beyond the marching bands and patriotic fanfare, NTD asked attendees what brings them to the nation's capital on the 4th of July and what the day means to them. Take a listen.
So can you just tell us, Allison, why are you participating in the 4th of July parade? What does this day mean to you?
To me, this day means that it's the birth of our nation. It means that we are a free country, that we have all these different rights that other nations do not have. It means that men and women fought for our freedom. They lost their lives. It means that about almost 250 years ago, many brave men, they got together and they risked their lives to go against a tyrannical king in order to fight for what they believed in.
So what do you hope to get out of today? Why are you thinking it's important to join this event?
Well, it's America's birthday, so come support it and see what the parade's all about. I've only seen it on TV, so I feel like we're only in DC once, so let's go and check it out.
What does July 4th mean to you guys?
July 4th to me basically means America. It means the day we were founded. The reason why we wear these uniforms today is because we believe in this. We believe in something greater, and July 4th represents everything that we wear these uniforms for. But everyone getting together, coming together as a community is always good, beneficial.
I feel like all you see today is nothing but the negative, and this kind of brings the community together and focuses on a positive and gives everybody kind of a new outlook, hopefully, and more positive outlook on things.
So what does Tianguo mean?
Sure, so Tianguo means divine in Chinese. So the meaning of Tianguo is essentially divine land marching band.
So with your band, what do you hope the energy that the audience feels after they hear your band come through the parade?
Yeah, so we're here to celebrate Independence Day, so really the values of America, religious freedom, and so forth. We hope that our music also is to raise awareness regarding the persecution of Falun Gong in China. Ultimately, our message is Falun Dafa is good and truthfulness, compassion is good.
After being in session for over 30 hours for the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill, lawmakers traveled across the country to participate in 4th of July celebrations and took to social media to show their patriotism during this Independence Day. Our Washington correspondent, Luis Eduardo Martinez, has the details.
When a young kid can grow up in the inner city and make something of himself, that is success. When a mom can dream about her children and they achieve something wonderful in America, that is success. When an immigrant from another country comes through the right way and they actually build something and they add to what America truly is, that is success. When we unify our efforts so we can disagree, but still keep the most perfect union ever known going, that is success. Those are the common sense ideals of America.
For Congressman Byron Donalds, the Republican from Florida, the celebrations began with a video montage of what he thinks is American success story. For Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Republican from Georgia, the day began with a prayer and a lot of red, white, and blue.
Hi everyone, happy 4th of July and Independence Day, and we are so excited to be starting the parade here in Cave Spring, Georgia. Everyone here is so excited that we passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill. It's a wonderful start to the 4th of July weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Blessings to all of you and your families, and happy 4th of July.
For Congressman Randy Fenstra and Congresswoman Ashley Hinson and Congresswoman Marionette Miller Meeks, the celebration started Thursday night aboard Air Force One when they accompanied the president to his rally in Iowa.
At the State Fair, we are going to celebrate America's birthday and the beginning of 250 years and the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill, and we're going to fly home in Air Force One. So happy 4th of July. For
Congressman Mark Green, this 4th of July also marks his official departure from Congress. After voting on the One Big Beautiful Bill, he officially stepped down from his seat representing Tennessee's 7th District.
I can tell you there is no higher honor than standing for the principles of our republic and being a small part of this great experiment in liberty that began nearly 250 years ago. To my constituents across Tennessee's 7th District, thank you. I'll leave you with this. It has been the honor of my lifetime to fight for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Democratic Senator John Fetterman posted on social media that according to a recent Gallup poll, only 36% of Democrats are extremely or very proud to be American. He went on to say that in the greatest country in the world, that is just wrong. Across party lines, the message from lawmakers was the same. This 4th of July, Americans celebrate their independence and freedom. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Luis Eduardo Martinez, NTD News.
The Trump administration is celebrating the 4th of July by welcoming new citizens in naturalization ceremonies across the country. The U.S. Customs and Immigration Services posted these pictures celebrating America's newest citizens. 30 service members celebrated their naturalization in San Diego aboard the USS Midway yesterday. 10 more people were at the Chihuahuas baseball game at Southwest University Park in El Paso. And 49 celebrated their new citizenship at a recent ceremony in Atlanta. This year, naturalization ceremonies included a welcome message from President Trump. Today, 100 candidates will take the oath of allegiance to become Americans at George Washington's home. As families across the country gear up to celebrate the 4th of July, safety experts are urging caution, especially when it comes to fireworks. Here's a look at some safety tips you can follow to make sure everyone gets the most fun out of the holiday weekend.
Spending time outdoors, barbecuing, and enjoying the fireworks. Classic ways to celebrate the 4th of July. But one wrong move can turn celebration into an emergency, especially when kids get their hands on fireworks and sparklers.
Sparklers are something that lots of families like to enjoy around the 4th of July, but many don't realize that they can actually be really dangerous, especially for young children who don't understand how to hold them safely. So sparklers can reach over 1,000 degrees, and this can cause pretty serious burns, even for a short exposure time to a part of the body.
Dr. Kara Kowalczyk is an assistant professor of pediatrics and emergency medicine at the Indiana University School of Medicine, and actually doesn't recommend playing with fireworks at all.
The best way to stay safe is to keep it to the professionals, so to enjoy fireworks by just going to professional fireworks shows.
She says if you do light fireworks at home, they should be handled with adult supervision and always have them pointed away from people, pets, and buildings. If anyone sustains an injury, don't wait to seek medical attention.
For those smaller, more minor burns, what you can do at home while you're waiting to get medical attention is to rinse it under cool water. You don't want to use ice. That can actually make the healing process worse, but you want to run it under cool water for around 20 minutes. You want to make sure that you keep that wound clean, and then you cover it with a non-adhesive bandage if you have one.
For large or deep burns, call 911 and seek immediate medical attention.
And joining us now to discuss the big, beautiful bill is Keith Gross, Army veteran and legal analyst. Good afternoon, Keith, and of course, happy 4th of July to you. Before we talk about the bill, I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't start with something in spirit of the holiday. So what does Independence Day mean to you, and what does patriotism look like today?
Independence Day is a day where we recognize how lucky we are to have a nation that was carved out of a world ruled by kings. Our forefathers fought off the most powerful empire in the world to form a nation where we can have a government by and for the people. Today we honor that sacrifice, and we celebrate that 249 years ago, we were given this great nation.
Do you think over the years, has the meaning of the holiday changed?
Sure, I think it has for a lot of people, but that doesn't remove the solemn nature of a holiday like today. The independence of America was hard fought, and it's special. America is special.
You know, given the importance of this holiday, Independence Day, I'm wondering, what is your view on how should schools or perhaps media as well teach the meaning of this day?
You know, one of the most important things that our founding fathers did is they established our Constitution, which delineates how the government is prohibited from interfering with the free natural rights of citizens. Our Constitution clarified that our rights don't come from the government. They come from a divine creator, and the government's prohibited from interfering with or infringing on those core rights. I think schools need to focus on the importance of our Constitution and how, if we maintain adherence to those key provisions, we'll be able to maintain this republic for a long, long time. But if we take our eye off the ball, and if we get away from those founding provisions in our Constitution, all of the freedoms that we enjoy can begin to crumble. Patriotism means honoring our Constitution, in short.
Right. I mean, you make a good point there. Even yesterday, Speaker Mike Johnson was talking about, you know, how the government doesn't give rights to people. It's God who gives those rights to people, and he was talking about this during the signing of the big, beautiful bill. So let me ask you about that now. Who do you think are the winners of this bill?
You know, I think America at large wins under the big, beautiful bill. Take senior citizens, for example. Now 90% of senior citizens who are reliant on Social Security for their source of income, they're no longer going to be taxed on that core income stream. I think that's common sense for most Americans. It's always seemed very silly that the American government would write someone a check and then demand a portion of that check right back in the form of taxes. It's more appropriate to give these people who've been paying in for years their fair due, because Social Security was never government money to begin with. That's money that the people have paid in, and they were promised to get it back. So I'm glad to see that tax being cut. There are a number of other major cuts in there that are going to do a lot of good for Americans. You know, the ability to depreciate business assets is going to fire up small business growth across this nation, which means more jobs, which means higher wages. The deportation of illegal immigrants was well funded in this bill. That means securing future elections by ensuring that only U.S. citizens are present to vote in those elections. If we start adhering to our Constitution and to our laws, and by enforcing those laws, America can heal and we can restore the freedoms that we've been losing for the last handful of decades.
Do you think this bill fits neatly into Trump's broader agenda of his second term, and as well his first term, which is to make America great again?
I do. You know, this bill does a lot of the things that Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail. It funds securing our southern border. It funds mass deportations. It funds a law that ensures that there's no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips. That's Donald Trump's promises from the campaign trail that he delivered in this bill. Now, this bill is not a funding bill per se. There's still going to be a separate appropriations bill that sets the level of funding for things like the Department of Education, Department of Labor, things like that. But this bill contains some of the largest cuts that we've seen in decades. And while a lot of people on the right claim it didn't cut enough, It's one of the largest cuts we've seen in decades. It included key things like cutting the tax stamp that is due anytime you buy a certain type of firearm or suppressor in the United States. That unconstitutional provision remains in effect in part, but this bill deleted part of that unconstitutional law. And while it's not perfect, it's a good start.
Okay, there are some out there, I'm sure, calling this a legacy-defining moment. Would you say that? Do you agree with that? Why or why not?
I think every day of Donald Trump's administration is a legacy-defining moment. He is a special president. He's not adhering to status quo. He doesn't care if someone's been doing it wrong in the U.S. government for 20 years. He's going to look at the situation and say, I don't care that it's been done wrong for the last several decades. We're going to start doing it the way the law reads, the way the Constitution reads. And so that really will be Donald Trump's ultimate legacy, securing an America First policy, adhering to the Constitution, and handing that off to the next president.
Okay, say I'm an everyday American living my life. What is going to be the biggest impact on my daily life, do you think?
Well, I think you're going to see wage increases and business growth. That's going to rev up the economy in a way we haven't seen in a long time. If we want to have a stable economy where things cost less relative to wages, we've got to increase relative wages, and we've got to ramp up productivity here in the United States. This bill will do exactly that by ensuring businesses have the capital and the incentive they need to grow their businesses domestically. This couples well with the tariff policies that Donald Trump's already putting into place and that the Treasury and Commerce departments are working through. Because if we ensure that we have incentivized domestic production on a tariff and foreign trade front, couple that with these tax breaks that businesses will get for employing people, for deploying equipment, for engaging in important areas like research and development. Those things are all incentivized in this bill. And while they may not seem directly connected to an everyday consumer's life, I guarantee you they will make an impact at the cash register.
Okay, Keith, I'll just get your comments on one more thing. How do you think this bill will be remembered in the future, years into the future?
Well, I think looking back, people are going to see that it was a lot of propaganda to state that this was a terrible bill, that it kicked people off of Medicaid, etc. The idea that this was some wealth transfer for billionaires is also quite silly. The maximum tax rate would have gone up by a few percent, up to right under 40%. And instead, this bill caps the maximum tax rate at just over 37%. The idea that that is somehow a handout or a gift to wealthy Americans is preposterous because it assumes that the government owns all of your income, and if they let you keep any, that must be a handout. The wealthiest Americans are already paying, by a vast majority, most of the taxes received by the United States government. They're already unfairly taxed, yet the left would have you believe they're not paying their fair share. That was one of the key talking points used in opposition to this bill, and looking back at it years from now, people will see that that talking point was false, and that by incentivizing business growth in the United States, we have improved our economy.
Well, Keith, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Great to speak with you. Thanks so much.
And coming up, President Trump kicks off a year-long celebration of America's 250th birthday in Iowa. Trump's plans over the next year, plus possible immigration changes, are coming for farm workers. That and more after the break.
What if you could whiten your teeth by simply brushing your teeth? Now you can with Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that safely gets your teeth white and keeps them white every day, just by brushing your teeth.
I never thought that whitening my teeth could be so easy. I just put the gel on the brush, the toothpaste on it, brush, and I can see my white teeth.
Simply add Smile Actives to any toothpaste, and our patented PolyClean technology activates into a powerful microfoam that penetrates into the enamel surface to safely lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth, without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
And now, Smile Actives is even better with new Pro Whitening Gel with 33% greater whitening power, clinically shown to whiten teeth faster, up to 8 shades. 100% of users saw whiter teeth. on food stains, coffee and wine stains, even on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
If you could use something so easy like Smile Actives to take yellow teeth to white teeth, why wouldn't you?
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when now you can whiten your teeth with new Smile Actives Pro Whitening Gel every time you brush your teeth? Call or go to smileactives.com and for a limited time get new Pro Whitening Gel for just $24.95. Order in the next 5 minutes and buy one, get one absolutely free for just $24.95. That's 2 for 1 and save 58%. We'll even include free shipping. Get your teeth whiter guaranteed or return it within 60 days for your money back.
I smile every day now.
The difference is literally night and day.
So now I'm always smiling, always choosing, because now my teeth are much whiter.
This offer is not available in stores, so call or click now before the special buy one, get one free offer goes away.
My 15-year-old son, Ethan, and I had a fun and relaxing morning. We returned home, and Ethan walked to his best friend's house an hour later. I heard the ambulance scream by the street, carrying my beautiful boy. Ethan was shot in the head in his best friend's house with an unsecured gun. He had 0 chance of survival. The father, the gun owner, he stored his 3 guns and bullets in a shoebox.
How do you feel?
That has to be the most horrific experience that a human could ever have.
David, would you give any advice?
First thing you do is not keep your ammunition with your weapons, and that your weapons need to be locked at all times.
President Trump made a stop in Iowa yesterday where he kicked off a year-long celebration ahead of the nation's 250th birthday, which happens next year. From passage of the big, beautiful bill to tariffs, here's what the president had to say.
At a rally in Iowa, President Trump kicked off a year-long celebration ahead of America's 250th birthday next year. The America 250 celebration will lead up to a massive fair next July on the National Mall. Organizers say the goal is to bring Americans together, and add that they chose Iowa because it is America's heartland. A few thousand people attended in the 90-plus degree heat. Trump greeted the crowd in Iowa, reflecting on how the state has delivered results for him in the last 3 elections.
We won so much here, we didn't know what to do. There was so much winning here, but we love Iowa, and we won all 3 times.
The rally came just hours after Congress passed Trump's big, beautiful bill, combining tax cuts with major spending cuts and tougher immigration enforcement. Trump celebrated the bill's passage in Iowa.
There could be no better birthday present for America than the phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big, beautiful bill to make America great again.
Trump also announced a Great American State Fair for 2026, a National Garden of American Heroes, and a televised sports competition called the Patriot Games, led by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. During the rally, Trump said he was open to allowing some illegal immigrant laborers to remain in the country, especially in industries like agriculture and hospitality.
If a farmer is willing to vouch for these people, in some way, Christy, I think we're going to have to just say that's going to be good, right?
Trump noted that some workers have been with the same farms for over a decade, saying his administration wants farms to do great. Speaking after the rally, Trump's agriculture secretary said the administration was working to make changes to visas used by farm workers.
Stephen Miller, myself, the top team in the White House has been working on, including Secretary Noem, including Secretary Chavez-Sherrimer, on the H-2A streamline, the current visa system that allows seasonal workers in. So we are hard at work. We've already made some changes. We're going to make it cheaper, more efficient, and more effective for those farmers. We will have a 100% legal workforce very, very soon.
Trump framed the celebration in Iowa as a moment to honor American ideals and to push back against what he called the threat of communism.
I'm proclaiming here and now that America is never going to be communist in any way, shape, form. and that includes New York City.
Returning to Joint Base Andrews in Maryland after the rally, Trump spoke about the upcoming tariff deadline.
We're going to start sending letters out to various countries starting tomorrow. We've done the final form, and it's basically going to explain what the countries are going to be paying in tariffs.
So far, trade agreements have been reached with India, China, the UK, and Vietnam. Talks with other key partners, including Canada, Mexico, the European Union, and Japan, are still ongoing.
President Trump says the White House could host an Ultimate Fighting Championship event next year as part of celebrations for the 250th anniversary of America's Declaration of Independence.
We're going to have a UFC fight, think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events. But the UFC fight's going to be a big deal, too. And
Trump told supporters in Iowa that the federal government plans to mark the 250th anniversary with a year's worth of events. The president says many historic sites will host special gatherings to mark the anniversary. Trump is known in the mixed martial arts world as the combatant-in-chief. He has been a regular attendee at UFC fights, most recently attending one in New Jersey in June. President Trump has signed 2 executive orders aimed at improving America's national parks.
to fund improvements and enhanced experiences across the park system. For this anniversary, I've just signed an executive order to raise entrance fees for foreign tourists while keeping prices low for Americans, and we're going to do that. The national parks will be about America first. We're going to take it America first for the national parks. And these are just a few of the many programs, initiatives, celebrations that will renew for our national pride. We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride. I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in 50 years.
The first order directs the Interior Secretary to raise fees for non-U.S. visitors and invest that revenue in park improvements. The second order creates a Make America Beautiful Again Commission to lead conservation efforts and expand outdoor recreation. Trump's order says the move is part of the president's policy to, quote, prioritize responsible conservation, restore our lands and waters, and protect our nation's outdoor heritage for the enjoyment of the American people. And Trump secures a major win after his numerous phone calls and meetings with Republicans unite them behind his tax and spending bill. The bill is set to become law today, Independence Day, just as the president wanted. Trump invited all members of Congress to the signing ceremony at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. NTD's White House correspondent Iris Tao has the story.
Celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed.
On the 4th of July, President Trump will sign into law his signature tax and immigration bill at a signing ceremony here at the White House. The passage of the big, beautiful bill marks a major legislative win for the president, who campaigned on the promises of cutting taxes and securing the border.
And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great.
The White House is taking a victory lap, telling Americans how the bill will deliver for them, including extending his 2017 tax cuts and enacting his new promises of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and new tax cuts for seniors.
This bill is the largest tax cut in American history for middle and working class families. Bigger paychecks of $10,000 more in annual take-home pay for families.
That said, the process of getting this bill over the finish line was arduous. In fact, just the night before, the president said he was not 100% sure that the bill would pass on Thursday. And on Friday, senior White House officials told us that in the 24 hours leading up to the bill's passage, the president had numerous meetings and calls, including late-night calls with all factions of the GOP conference. He also used his relationship with lawmakers, which he was building even during his transition period at Mar-a-Lago, with dinner after dinner. Officials told us that those relationships delivered for him at crunch time.
And so we'll be signing with those beautiful planes flying right over our heads.
And on Friday, in addition to signing the bill into law, the president will also celebrate the 4th of July with military families and watch fireworks with them from the South Lawn. He'll also invite to the White House pilots who flew the daring B-2 bombers during a mission last month to target Iran's nuclear facilities. Reporting from the White House, Iris Tao, NTD News.
Turning to the economy, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration plans to begin working on a replacement for Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell this fall, speaking on CNBC.
The president is the most economically sophisticated president, certainly for 100 years, perhaps in history. And he has been quite right in his commentary on the Fed during the previous 4 years. Medical studies have shown people who fall down tend to look at their feet. You look at your feet, you fall down more often, and I got a feeling they're still looking at their feet from 2022.
A formal decision on Powell's future is expected this fall. Bessent said Trump administration officials have plenty of good candidates in mind. Powell's current term ends in early 2026. Bessent criticized the Fed for keeping rates high and waiting too long to cut, calling the current policy a mistake. Bessent has not ruled out taking the job himself, though he said he's happy at the Treasury Department. Speculation about Powell's future has grown as Trump continues to pressure the central bank to lower interest rates, accusing Powell of failing the economy. Border enforcement is back in the spotlight. The Supreme Court sided with the Trump administration yesterday over deporting illegal immigrants to third countries. The High Court lifted limits a judge had imposed to prevent 8 men from being sent to South Sudan. The men, called criminal aliens by the Department of Homeland Security, are being held at a U.S. military facility in the African country of Djibouti while awaiting deportation. The government called the decision a win for the rule of law, safety, and security of the American people, adding that the men would be in South Sudan by Friday. The State Department has urged Americans to avoid the African nation due to crime, kidnapping, and armed conflict. New fiber optic lines are now providing communication and radar data for air traffic control at New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport. The Trump administration says the fiber was laid at, quote, lightning speed in June. The move was triggered by 3 telecommunications blackouts in April and May at a facility in Philadelphia, which handles flights approaching or departing Newark Airport. Each time, controllers lost radar and radio contact with flights for up to 90 seconds. At least 5 FAA employees took trauma leave as a result, further impacting an already tight staffing situation. The failure was blamed on copper wiring linking the Philadelphia location to radars and communication equipment still in Long Island, New York. Multiple people are reported dead in Texas amid catastrophic flash flooding. Severe thunderstorms are causing major problems in central and western parts of the state. That includes the city of Kerrville, which is experiencing life-threatening flooding from the overwhelmed Guadalupe River. Officials there say police and fire crews have been helping with high water rescues. Some areas have been seeing at least 6 inches of rain since Thursday night. Several flash flood emergencies have been declared. The county sheriff's office said multiple fatalities were confirmed, but no information will be released until next of kin are notified. In addition to Kerrville, other spots affected by these storms include Tom Green County and the city of San Angelo. The United Cajun Navy is on its way to assist areas impacted by the flood. When we come back, we speak to a Navy veteran about what Independence Day means to him and why he chose to serve his country.
According to ancient Chinese medicine, purslane is considered a medicinal herb and is used to help lower cholesterol, improve vascular functions, and prevent diabetes. Perilla seeds can nourish the lungs and spleen. It is used to treat asthma and improve pulmonary functions. Puritime green vegetable omega-3 is made from purslane and perilla seeds from Hwangmae Mountain in South Korea. It contains over 90% of omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. The highest concentration possible without chemical additives. The soft gel is made of natural seaweed. It is 100% organic and vegan. Both adults and children can take it with peace of mind. Ancient recipes were passed down from heaven to bring prosperity and longevity. Puritan green vegetable omega-3.
Hi, I'm Ty Pennington, here for Choice Home Warranty. They protect my home from expensive repairs, and they can do the same for you. For a low monthly fee, you get their nationwide network of trusted local technicians with plans that cover repairs and replacements done quickly and the right way. Call Choice Home Warranty now and save big with their special offer of your first month free and free limited roof coverage. Call now.
Call now to lock in your rate and save big. Call 800-360-7824.
There's a whirlwind of emotion and activity going on in this painting. And there's chaos all around and threat from below. The wolves surrounding her, and they're anything but unmoved. They're moving all the time, and we sense that. But this little girl remains unmoved.
She's in quite a perilous situation, but she's completely strong and serene, and she's actually meditating. It was very, very well liked because no matter what culture or what sort of walk of life you're from, I think people, they see it and they immediately understand what that energy, what that message is, and they're drawn to it because everybody kind of needs a little bit of that in their own life, of, you know, the steadfast calmness and something to hold on to. It's definitely an inner peace in the midst of something very chaotic, and for a lot of people right now, the whole world is very, very chaotic. So I guess that's another reason why so many people are very drawn to this.
And joining us now is Kirk Offell, Navy veteran and founder and CEO of World Watch Mission Critical. Kirk, thank you for joining us today. Happy 4th of July. First off, you're a Navy veteran. Thank you so much for your service. Can you please tell us a little bit about your time in the military?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, happy 4th of July to you as well. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I had the benefit of growing up as the youngest of a bunch of boys. My father was career military. Every man in my lineage is former military, and I myself was able to enlist in the military at an early age, where I found myself in the submarine community, the fast attack submarine community would be more specific. So I got a chance to work around some of the most advanced weapons and machinery and technology ever built. But I also got to be a part of this surrounding the veteran community my whole life. So the military is what's in our family blood. It's our family business.
And Kirk, perhaps I think that you have a more unique view of this holiday, perhaps compared to regular Americans who have not served. What does independence mean to you, Independence Day?
Yeah, I think like everybody, I grew up thinking that the 4th of July, the celebration of our independence, was the celebration of freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of anything beyond that. But if you think about it, the first industrial revolution started in 1760, which was 6 years before the birth of our nation. So when you think about these industrial revolutions, the war was the American Revolution. And since the beginning of our first industrial revolution to the American Revolution, we are now sitting in a time of what's called the 5th industrial revolution. And it's a time where there's a lot of demand on technology, and people that have served in the military have a lot to offer and a lot of value they could bring to the industry that's demanding talent to service the ability to deploy more technology.
And can you go into the core of this day? Why is it important? Why should this day continue? And why does it matter for everyday average Americans?
Listen, the 4th of July, the Declaration of Independence, the beginning of freedom, it led to revolutions of lives. And what I do is I try to use it and apply it to what we do now in society. We went through a first industrial revolution. It created what we have today as modern economies. We discovered power, steam engines. The second industrial revolution, we harvest AC and DC power as well as an automobile. We've had wars throughout all these times, but the independence of our nation and the revolutions that always followed have been a big part of the fabric of our society. So I've got to watch us go from the second industrial revolution and then a large break between that and the third. And every time that we had an industrial revolution, there was an iteration of some sort of combat that one generation had to endure. And it all started with what happened in the birth of our nation, the Declaration of Independence, signing our freedoms, and then ending the American Revolution and beginning the revolutions of technology that have really had the most profound impact on humanity since we've all started as a nation.
So Kirk, on that note, can you tell us about the Anchors of Hope campaign, and why does Overwatch Mission Critical relaunch it every year on D-Day's anniversary?
Yeah, thanks for asking the question. So I work for a technology incubator of labor. The only thing that we do is provide staff augmentation as a service, and it's a very complicated service. What we've learned is people that have been in the military come from the most advanced training in weapons, machinery, technology, and leadership. And the industry that I get to function in today is called mission critical, and it's also known as the data center industry. So what we know is the data center industry is short hundreds of thousands of people because the adoption rate of emerging technology. So we consumers demand technology. We have to go build these AI farms, these data centers, the sky for the cloud, the home for AI. We have to go build that with labor. And there's a lot of transitioning veterans coming out of the military with a lot of skill sets. This technology platform allows them to come into a brand new industry that's still emerging. What 2025 is for AI is what 1925 was for the automobile industry. And we were still building Model Ts until 1927, because in 1925, the automobile industry began to boom. Here we are 100 years later, and this industry that hasn't emerged in the mainstream yet is about to boom. And it's called mission critical. It's also called data centers. And it's going to build back so much opportunity for growth as a nation. It'll rebuild the entire middle class with brand new jobs. The best people that come out of the military, which 85% of are considered blue collar, are the people that have the exact skill set from leadership training and technology to enter a workforce like what we have. So we started Anchors of Hope on January 6th, the 80th anniversary of D-Day is when we began. And it's because we ran this campaign from D-Day to Patriots Day, also known as September 11th. And in that time frame, we were just simply trying to raise the awareness for this two incredible things that are taking place. There's pent-up demand for talent in the data center industry, which is emerging as a mainstream vertical industry, because now everyone knows what AI is, and now we are going to start pursuing jobs in this AI sector, which no colleges have created curriculum for yet. So we're building back this middle-class opportunity with these jobs, and veterans transition out of the military, which are sometimes the highest level of risk for having served so much in our country's nation's honor and fighting in combat. We have to have some place where we can park their skills, their emotional range skills, their technology skills into an industry of significance that they could actually drive more change into. So Anchors of Hope is a campaign that runs from D-Day to Patriots Day. And it's just another push that we make out to the market and saying, hey, listen, everybody needs talent, but there are veterans coming out of the military every month that have the skills that you need and the emotional range that you need and the leadership courage that you need to help bring value to your company.
Also, do you see hiring veterans, first responders, and military spouses as, would you characterize that as patriotic gestures?
Yeah, I think that if we can, the real heroes are the families and the spouses of those that serve in active duty. The active duty are the ones that are out there holding the oath and preparing to do anything up to and including the cost of their own lives to defend us. And those first responders are no different. And I think that one of the best things we could do is we could take, you have to remember, those people that became first responders or the people that joined the military, they did not do it to make money. They did it to make a difference. And I think that when they come out of the military, they come out of the first responders, what they want is they want to have an opportunity to do something that fulfills them with their purpose. They want to make a difference. And I think the most patriotic thing we could do is offer these incredible heroes the opportunity to honor and serve this industry with the same level of dignity they did when they were still wearing a uniform and active duty. They need to understand that if they've served this country, there's so many things that they've learned that would bring value to any aspect of the civilian community. So I do think it's the one way that we can honor them is by offering the opportunity to be a part of something significant again.
Well, Kirk, thank you so much. That's our time today. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
It was an honor. Thank you so much. Happy 4th of July.
You as well. Meanwhile, parts of Kyiv are on fire after what Ukraine describes as the largest drone attack on the capital yet. The attack comes just hours after Russia told President Trump that the fighting in Ukraine won't stop. NTD's international correspondent Arian Pasdar has a war update.
Eyewitness video shows the moment a Russian drone explodes in a Kiev residential area. Russia reportedly bombarded the capital with drones in an all-night attack. Ukrainian officials describe it as the largest drone attack of the war, with over 530 drones and 11 missiles. At least 23 people are reported injured. Firefighters were battling the blazes in Kiev as the drone attack sparked flames across the city. Putin reportedly admitted that Russia doesn't plan to stop the fighting in Ukraine. Here's what Trump said about the call on Thursday night.
I'm very disappointed with the conversation I had today with President Putin because I don't think he's there.
Now on Friday, Trump had a phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky says they had a detailed conversation about defense industry capabilities and joint production. The two reportedly also discussed opportunities in air defense and agreed to work together to protect Ukraine's skies. And Russia and Ukraine successfully exchanged more prisoners of war. It's the latest swap under agreements brokered in Istanbul, Turkey. Ukraine says it secured the return of a group held in Russian captivity since 2022. And according to Russia, Friday's exchange includes wounded and seriously ill prisoners and those under 25 years of age. The troops are now receiving medical assistance. Arian Pasdar, NTD News.
The United States and Colombia recalled their ambassadors yesterday, signaling a diplomatic rift between the two nations. The Trump administration has recalled the U.S. ambassador due to what it called baseless and reprehensible statements from the highest levels of the Colombian government. A spokesperson did not specify the statements in question or elaborate on the reasons behind the recall. The Colombian president later announced on social media that his government was recalling the Colombian ambassador to the United States in response to Washington's move. This development came after the Colombian Attorney General's office announced an investigation into an alleged plot to overthrow the Colombian president. Recordings allegedly captured former Foreign Affairs Minister discussing a plan with Colombian politicians to oust Petro with the help of U.S. lawmakers. The former Foreign Minister of Affairs has denied the allegation. The Colombian president stated on X that there is a coup and the U.S. justice system should be asked to investigate. Members of the European Parliament have initiated a vote of no confidence against European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. The move follows mounting criticism from European lawmakers who accuse the Commission of lacking transparency in several high-profile cases. NTD's international correspondent David Vivez reports from Paris.
The motion was initiated by Romanian MEP George Pipera, who accuses her of opacity and political interference. The main criticism concerns von der Leyen's refusal to release SMS messages exchanged with Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla during the EU's vaccine negotiations. The case has sparked legal complaints from journalists and lobbyists, including the New York Times, which filed a lawsuit against the Commission. The Commission rejected the request, claiming that text messages are inherently temporary and therefore do not qualify for inclusion in the institution's official document records. Even though the European Court of Justice ruled in May that the Commission must disclose the messages, it has yet to comply. MEP Virginie Joron says the no-confidence vote might help force the Commission to provide answers.
I've been following this case for almost 4 years, and they're treating us very unfairly. Let me tell you an example. There was a court ruling 2 weeks ago. Following the court ruling, I referred the matter to the European prosecutor to open an inquiry and presented him with the legal basis that the court studied and based its decision upon, the same ones. The European prosecutor replied, "Ms. Joron, there is no legal basis. We are not opening a case. We have used everything, all the small legal tools, all the democratic means to get an answer or a reply from the EU Commission. It didn't work. So we'll use this tool, Article 131, which ultimately allows us to organize a debate and a vote."
To be presented for a vote, the motion needs the backing of at least 72 MEPs. While 74 have already signed, some have since withdrawn their support, making the outcome uncertain. According to Joron, shifting political alliances are complicating the vote.
There is so much tension surrounding this motion. There's a lot of pressure on some people to withdraw their signatures. Today, there are 74 of them. But there's so much fear and pressure simply because the procedures are unclear. It's not clear whether the no confidence vote can be withdrawn up until the final vote if some MEPs withdraw their support. So Georgia Piperea is currently looking to gather more signatures.
Von der Leyen has not yet publicly addressed the allegations but will have a chance to answer questions from EU Parliament members on July 7th. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
Coming up, festivities are lighting up all over California. In the Bay Area, thousands lined the streets for the Rose, White, and Blue Parade. Stay tuned.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
They're just young people, hungry, homeless, and vulnerable. Covenant House is helping young adults facing homelessness. We're providing safe shelter to thousands, but the need is overwhelming. Please call or go online now. With your gift of $19 a month, we'll send you this blanket as a reminder of the comfort your gift provides a young person tonight. You'll provide safe shelter, hot meals, and medical care. Call the number on your screen or go online to safeplacetosleep.org.
Hi, I'm Amy Grant. I was living with a rare heart condition, and the doctor said if I didn't take care of it, it would become catastrophic. A few months later, I had open heart surgery that saved my life, and I owe it to the research and life-saving medical breakthroughs developed by the American Heart Association. Like so many women, I pushed through no matter what. But I've learned you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of other people.
I had a pretty normal mom life. Everything was pretty good, and it was a very happy life. I was given the diagnosis that I had peripartum cardiomyopathy, which is basically a pregnancy-induced heart failure. They told me my only chance was a heart transplant.
And the American Heart Association helped make that possible. Their research helped save me.
Please call now or go to helpheart.org. For only $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you can help fund the next medical breakthrough, get the next person trained in CPR, and get the next hospital certified in high-quality cardiovascular care.
I am very thankful for the American Heart Association. I'm grateful for just every day that I get with my children.
Give $19 a month with your credit card, and we'll send you this special t-shirt you can wear to show you're part of a community of monthly donors working to help save more lives.
It's hard to imagine that a mom can die from pregnancy-induced heart failure, but thousands die every year. That's why your support is so urgently needed.
Any of us, every one of us, can make a modest monthly donation that actually helps and benefits everybody. Please call the number on your screen or go to helpheart.org now to become a monthly donor. Thank you.
Let's head now to the West Coast, where cities across California are marking the 4th of July with parades, music, and community spirit. One of the biggest celebrations is happening in San Jose, and that's where we find NTD's David Lam live right now. So David, happy Independence Day to you. Good to see you as always. How's the Rose, White, and Blue parade over there?
Yeah, happy Independence Day to you too. So we're in San Jose, California, and earlier, it's pretty festive here. Earlier, it started off with a display of classic cars, even lowriders and cars with hydraulics. We're going to zoom in to some of the crowd over here so you get a closer look at the energy. So There were even bicycle groups, skateboarders, and music bands, as well as cultural performances. Now you can see the patriotic and independence. Now this parade is a 1-mile route. So why is it called the Rose, White, and Blue Parade? Well, roses have a enduring history here in San Jose. It started off as a neighborhood tradition and now has grown to something larger. Don?
Yeah, it looks pretty good over there. I mean, what's the atmosphere like? How's the mood?
Yeah, so people were definitely recording, trying to take in everything and savor the moment. We actually have several guests here that I'd like to share a little bit about what they've seen so far. So here, Rosalinda and Giselle. So how did you enjoy the parade so far?
I like it. It's very diverse. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How did you like the parade?
It was nice. It was cool seeing everybody come together to celebrate.
What stood out to you the most for the floats? I know there were lots on vehicles and cars because California is a car culture here.
I like the Colombia and the Bolivia and the Mexico, you know, because right now a lot of people are scared of what's going on with immigration, but they're still out here supporting the independence. So that's nice of them.
Yeah, okay. And for you, for this year, what would you say was the most valuable, I guess, morals in terms of independence for you this year?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right, no problem. Are you planning to see fireworks later?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And what about you?
Yeah, we're waiting for the fireworks.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So, happy 4th of July as well. So, it's unclear how many people are in attendance today, but back in 2023, there were about 60,000 people at the Rose, White, and Blue Parade. And next year will be the 250th anniversary for America's independence, so we'll be looking forward to that. Back to you.
All right, David, you better show us what it looks like next year. It's going to be a big year for that parade as well, David. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Coming up, it's the 4th of July, and in Coney Island, that means hot dogs. Joey Chestnut, the 16th-time champ who holds the all-time record of eating 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes, is back.
This is such a gentle painting, so beautifully portrayed.
A group of people reading together in this simple, everyday-looking living room. A young girl reading along with an adult, a grandparent sitting in the lotus position, a businessman in his typical suit.
You see all those people, they look like they have quietly settled down there. And you as a viewer, it looks like you've just stepped in the door.
You can't see what it is they're reading, so you're a little bit curious and you're kind of invited to walk in.
According to ancient Chinese medicine, purslane is considered a medicinal herb and is used to help lower cholesterol, improve vascular functions, and prevent diabetes. Perilla seeds can nourish the lungs and spleen. It is used to treat asthma and improve pulmonary functions. Puritang green vegetable omega-3 is made from purslane and perilla seeds from Hwangmae Mountain in South Korea. It contains over 90% of omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. The highest concentration possible without chemical additives. The soft gel is made of natural seaweed. It is 100% organic and vegan. Both adults and children can take it with peace of mind. Ancient recipes were passed down from heaven to bring prosperity and longevity. Puritang green vegetable omega-3.
Welcome to NTD Newsroom. I'm Don Ma. Our stories today: bands, floats, and a lively crowd brought DC streets to life this afternoon. We'll give you a look at the massive July 4th parade, bringing patriots from all around the nation to celebrate America's birthday. President Trump kicks off a year-long celebration of America's 250th birthday in Iowa. Trump's plans over the next year, plus possible immigration changes, are coming for farm workers. We talked to retired Missouri State Trooper Dan Nash, an expert on human trafficking prevention. He reveals the realities of trafficking networks and the misconceptions people have on the issue. In his book, The Spirit of a True Patriot, retired Army Captain Douglas Ernest shares his powerful story of service and sacrifice. We talked to him about what it means to be a patriot. Russia launches a major drone attack at Ukraine's capital city. This comes just one day after a phone call between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin fell short of bringing Europe closer to peace. It's the 4th of July, and in Coney Island, that means hot dogs. Joey Chestnut, the 16th time champ, who holds the all-time record of eating 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes, is back.